I'm Katie Cowan, and this is the Creative Boom podcast. For episode 68, we're heading back to Toronto, this time to chat with Anoosha Syed, an illustrator and character designer for animation whose clients include Google, Netflix, and Warner Brothers. Anoosha was born in Pakistan and then moved around the world, growing up in Switzerland, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Toronto. She studied illustration in Switzerland and began her career in animation, starting on the preschool series Dot for Sprout and Disney Junior, before beginning to work extensively in children's books. Her debut picture book, Bilal Cooks Daal, won an award and led to further commissions, including the most recent Rise Up and Write It by Nandini Ahuja. And this year she was excited to have a dream come true, publishing her debut children's book, which she wrote and illustrated. In her spare time, Anoosha co-hosts a podcast called The Art Corner, which aims to educate younger artists on the ins and outs of the art industry. And as a woman of colour, Anoosha's priority in her work is always diversity. She never saw herself in the media she consumed as a child and wants to correct that with more diverse stories and characters. But first, a word from our sponsor. Capture One creates world-class tools for editing, organising and working with photos. A leading innovator, Capture One strives to meet the needs of visual creators everywhere. Go to captureone.com to find out more. Now for my chat with Anoosha. Well, thank you for joining us. It's so lovely to see your face, another human being from across the planet.
It's lovely to see you too.
You're my second creative to speak to from Toronto this season.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you're a very creative part of the world, aren't you?
I guess so. A lot of artists out here in Toronto.
Yeah, definitely. Have you always lived over that way? Because you went and studied in Switzerland, didn't you?
Yes, that is correct. So I moved to Toronto in 2015, like right after I graduated from Switzerland. So I'm kind of a new Canadian. But I mostly grew up within the Middle East, like Dubai and Saudi Arabia.
Interesting. So you've been all over, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what came first then after you'd graduated? Was it the children's books or was it the character design for animation?
Yeah, so initially it was animation. Even though I had studied illustration in my art school, my end goal was always to work within animation. And so right after I landed in Canada, I did start working at an animation studio full-time. I did that for a year and then realized that I hate working full-time and I prefer freelancing. So I was there for a year and then I was doing children's books on the side, like after hours, and I ended up really enjoying it. And so since then, I've just been freelancing full-time ever since.
Yeah, I mean, freelancing comes with its own challenges, doesn't it? But I guess...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels, even though you're working really hard, it feels like better than working for someone else, for, you know, speaking to somebody that's also been a freelancer for many years in a way.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of flexibility in like choosing your own hours, but also just the creative control. I suppose like that's my favorite part of being able to choose what I want to do and being able to turn on projects I don't want to do, and also being able to sleep in. That's a big perk.
Oh my goodness, yes. I love that when I'm in my bed on a sort of cold winter's morning and I can hear all the kind of people going to work and I'm like, nope.
I'm glad that's not me.
I'm like, do you know what? It's 9:00. It's fine. I'm still in my pajamas. It's okay. I'll get loads of work done. I'll probably catch up until the early hours of the, you know, right into the sort of evening. It's fine. And that's what's beautiful about it. We just get so much freedom.
Oh, that's definitely true. That is my favorite part about freelancing.
Do you, are you able to switch off though?
So in recent years, yes. I had like a huge problem early on of working from, like 9:00 in the morning up until 11 in the evening and then working weekends and everything. And so obviously that was not sustainable and I burnt out quite badly after a while. And so now I am at that space where 5:00, absolutely no computers, no emails, no nothing. And I never work on the weekends unless I have like a big deadline coming up. And so, yeah, I feel a lot better these days because of it.
That's great to hear. I think that's something we all have to go through, isn't it? That kind of work, get all the clients, get going. And then it's like, oh, wham. And it just hits you. And then you realize you've been running. Was the pandemic a bit of a wake up call for you as well? Like it's been for many people?
A little bit. I think for me, thankfully, just the industry, like children's book, it wasn't affected too badly by the pandemic. More so what has affected me is that even though I'm a freelancer, I hate working from home. I much prefer working out. I used to work at a co-working studio. I feel that I never get enough work done at home. There are just way too many distractions. I procrastinate like crazy. And so I found a really good system of working outside. And then once pandemic hit, we were under lockdown. Now I've just been working from home ever since. And I feel like I'm not getting any work done again. So that's the biggest thing that's been affecting me.
Have you been in lockdown still just now?
Up until August.
Oh, right. Okay. So
yeah, it was pretty strict in Toronto, yeah.
Oh, was it really? And is it just starting to get back to normal now?
Yeah, it's starting to get back to normal again. And so I'm starting to look for co-working studios again. Unfortunately, the one that I was a part of, unfortunately, closed because of the pandemic.
Oh, that's a
shame. So now I'm on the hunt for a new one.
I wonder how many people are doing the same right now and are in the same boat, because there was so much talk, wasn't there, about, WFH is going to be the new thing. But actually, when you start chatting with other people, so many are like, no way, I'm not staying at home.
Yeah, it is a bit of a 50-50. Like my husband, I got married during the pandemic. And so that's another thing. Thank you. That also has been a little bit of a stressor because we're both working inside of our small apartment. And so that's another thing, another distraction. But he loves working from home. He's like, I never want to go back.
Oh, so you haven't killed each other then? You're still alive?
No.
He's not buried under the patio?
I'm actually, I've really been enjoying our time together. And I feel like this was the biggest test, right? If we were able to spend 24 hours for a whole year, 24/7 for a whole year, we can get through anything now.
Oh God, yeah, you're going to last the distance. I mean, actually, and it's right. Lots of people did split up, didn't they? It just kind of, but I think what a friend of mine said, to be honest, it was probably going to happen anyway at some point. So,
right.
Anyway, gosh, I'm so glad you're okay, and congratulations, brilliant.
Thank you.
So the children's books came after the character design for animation.
That's right.
Let's talk about animation first of all. You're obviously someone that loves the craft, and you probably grew up with Disney, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And probably loved it when you were a kid, and then did you realize that it was kind of very one-sided? It looked kind of very the same characters, and that the princesses were like, I'm waiting for a man.
I did have that phase around my teenage years of you know what, Disney sucks. I'm too old for this. But then around that time when I was a teenager, around 16, 17 was when I started to discover my love of art. And then I started appreciating Disney movies and so on, less for the story and some of the outdated notions, and more so just for the craft itself. Something like Snow White, the story would probably not work today, but it's still an absolute masterpiece of a movie. It's just absolutely beautiful.
It's a good question, actually. Should we hold movies and things from the past to the same standards we have today? I mean, when was Snow White made? I mean, it was
the 30s, I believe.
The 30s.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was the first movie. Yeah, I think it's definitely a complex issue, and I feel like everyone is going to have a different response to it. Personally, I feel like things were made in the past will have you can't judge it by today's standards. It was a different time.
Oh, I agree.
The best we can do is just to acknowledge and think of it critically. But I don't think you could be judged for still enjoying it. Watching something from back in the day that might be problematic right now. I can still enjoy it, but I still have to recognize that, okay, there are issues to it.
Yeah, we can acknowledge what is potentially wrong about it, and recognize how far we've come in the meantime.
Exactly.
And Disney is going through much change, isn't it? It's kind of really sort of pulling. I can't really sort of say it's going through change or pulling up its socks. I think it's just kind of evolving like the rest of the world, and we're becoming so much more global, aren't we?
Definitely.
We're smaller, we're sort of closer, and what they're making now is definitely reflective of that, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's definitely a response to just people in general, like the viewers who are asking for this change of asking like, hey, we want to see more diverse stories. And not only that, but also stories that are accurately told. For example, the movie Aladdin, it is definitely not historically accurate. It's like costumes, just like the script, it's quite offensive. I mean, I still enjoy it. But in contrast, a movie like, let's say, Moana, they had hired like a team of people from the Pacific Islanders who were able to like consult and everything. So they definitely had a bigger effort in making sure that the stories were properly told, whereas something like Aladdin, I don't think they really cared.
No, I don't know whether they didn't care, but I wonder if they just didn't even think.
I think that's what it is. Like, they didn't really think about it.
Yeah, it just never occurred to them to go, oh, actually, we're going to do a movie that's based in this kind of region of the world. Maybe we should like actually ask people who live there and understand the culture. I don't think it was really something they kind of it wasn't even on the table. So it's great that is the case now.
Exactly,
and happening more and more, which is wonderful. Yeah. Getting those different perspectives, getting things that are authentic. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes there is backlash because, the audience today, they're so kind of like on it, aren't they? A lot of people, you've got the social media. So if something they feel hasn't worked or isn't right, they'll speak up, they'll say something, which, can be good, can be bad. But when it's done well, it can really sort of make these production companies and huge studios really sort of sit up and take notice and go, oh, gosh, we need to do better. We need to do more. So that's
exactly. I feel like there are like good and bad to social medias, but like there is one thing of like individual people are able to make change, which is something that like maybe would not have been able to happen before. And so like just like a small person like myself, if I'm able to make a difference and get these big companies to actually change the way they work. And it's a really great thought.
You actually had a little bit of a backlash on Twitter, didn't you? It was a few years ago now.
Oh yeah, the Hermione thing.
Yeah, Hermione. Yes. Yeah, you made her black, and there was this huge backlash. I don't understand that. Why are people offended by?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I really don't know.
Because even J.K. Rowling herself, she came not directly to your kind of defense, but there was a kind of stage production of Harry Potter.
Yeah, the Cursed Child, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, was it? Oh, was it something else? Right, okay. But it was based on Harry Potter, wasn't it?
It was like the Harry Potter kids all grown up, and then they had cast a black actress to play Hermione. So like she approves. So like what's the big deal? Yeah.
I think she even said something that she didn't have a colour of skin in mind for the character. So it could be however anybody wants to interpret it, surely.
Yeah. Exactly. And like even if there weren't, because like in the text there were hints that like maybe she could be portrayed as a person of color, but even if there wasn't, it's just fan art. There's no consequence to it. And if like someone finds joy in creating representation for themselves, then what's the harm in that?
Yeah, there's no harm in that. You and I probably, I don't know if you have time to, but I love looking at fan art. I think it's one of the most joyous things to come out of the internet.
It really is.
Just seeing how people like react and to all these kind of stories and through different mediums. It's it's wonderful. It's the kind of nice side of social media, isn't it?
So many talented people. It's really amazing.
And are you finding now that all this kind of massive change is happening over the last few years? Do you find that the kind of characters that you get to design are becoming more diverse and more interesting and have like more interesting backstories as well?
Oh, definitely. I feel like I feel very lucky in that when I started my career, we were just hitting that turning point where studios, publishers, etc., were starting to notice that people want diverse characters. They want diverse stories. And so I feel like if I had started my career like 10 years earlier, I would one, might have trouble finding work, just because of like the style and the kind of work that I want to create, but also less opportunities to create characters of color. For example, like if I've been assigned a story, then by default I would try to, mix up the different types of, different diverse characters, try to keep it inclusive. But I might get a note back like, hey, can we just tone it down a little bit?
Oh, right. Gosh.
Like that could be like, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that could be the case. But like right now, I do get the chance to just express myself exactly how I want, exactly how the world should be portrayed and how it actually looks like, which I'm really thankful for. And I feel like that is happening. I started my career 5 years ago. I've already seen a big difference from when I first started my career versus now in the type of stories that I'm asked to work on. They're just like even more and more diverse stories, which is so, so great to see.
Yeah, that's going to be one of my questions, actually, how it just must be lovely to be at the forefront of this kind of era. There's a lot of kind of stuff happening in the world that right now that, is kind of troubling, and there's a lot of shifts happening, and everybody's exhausted from the pandemic. But the wonderful kind of joy, the kind of gold, the silver lining is that there's so much good happening.
There really is, yeah.
And you just got to kind of grasp that with, all your might, and just realize that actually, there's so much good happening, no matter what's happening politically, or we know that, the world and the people in it, you just want to give them a hug with everything you've got, and just know that, it's not that bad. And there's so many lovely things coming out of this era in our lives. So did you have a sort of favorite movie or cartoon, or,
when I was growing up?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me think. I absolutely loved all of the Disney movies. My favorite ones were more so like Beauty and the Beast and Tarzan and Hercules. I absolutely love those movies. I also really love Studio Ghibli movies.
Yes.
So Kiki's Delivery Service is one of my all-time favorites.
I've not seen that, actually.
It is lovely. It's about like a little witch who moves to a small town and she becomes like a delivery. She works as like a delivery girl for a bakery, and it's just a really, really wonderful, sweet story.
Oh, I'm going to have
Definitely
to look that
check
up.
it out.
Yeah, because Spirited Away is the one I've seen. And,
yes, so beautiful.
My neighbour Toronto. I can never say that. Can never remember the name, but I just love those movies so much, because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're
You're
so
just
creative.
like watching it going, oh my God, I should have watched this in university when I used to get,
There's a lot you can analyze.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I love about those movies so much. They're just so mystical, and I don't quite understand what's happening, and I can kind of put my own interpretation on them. So those are kind of a whole new, they're on a different planet, really, aren't they? So have you, what was the turning point that you started getting into children's books illustration? Because that's something you also focus on.
So like I said, I studied illustration in school, and I was interested in it, but like my dream was always to work within animation. And so, I did my first year, at that animation studio, and then I started working on the side of doing children's books. But at the same time, even though I was still doing children's books, I still really, really wanted to work in animation. That was still my dream. And so I was like applying, like hundreds of applications to any studio who would have like an open position. And I did that for years up until 2018. And I was getting just so disheartened, because all I ever got was no's. And I would have friends say like, oh, your work is great. Like, I don't know why they're not hiring you. And then I would see all my other friends getting hired. And I hate to say it, but I was getting jealous. Like, I would be like, I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy for you. Like, but I can't help but feel a little jealous. Like, why not me? And so I don't know what it was, but like, I was just so fixated on this dream that I didn't realize that there was another path just waiting for me that was actually so much better for me. Because around 2018, I kind of had that turning point where I asked myself, do I even want to work in animation? Because I don't like working a full-time job. If I was working in animation, I would be working with under a kind of set of guidelines, I suppose. It would be like more rigid. In terms of like when I do freelance work, I get hired specifically for my style, under my terms, my own creative freedom and ideas. Whereas if I was working in animation, I would have to conform my style to fit with everyone else's and kind of conform to that basically, and change my artwork and everything. And then, like the hours are not really what I want and I won't be able to tell my stories. And so, that's when I realized that I had changed in those past 3 years, that this is not really the path that is suited for me. And I had just been like clinging onto it just because it was a dream I had for years and years and years. And because I was holding on to that dream, I wasn't committing myself 100% to illustration, because I wouldn't take on certain illustration jobs because I'd be like, oh, if I take this job, like what if I get an offer at an animation studio? Then I wouldn't be able to do both. Okay, so I guess I'll pass on this illustration offer and just keep applying. And so because of that, I was kind of dipping my toes in both and not fully committing myself to either. And so my career wasn't really going anywhere. And so because of that turning point, I realized, okay, this is it. I have to just commit myself to illustration. I think this is the path that was meant for me. And so since then, I am just so grateful that I made that decision, because my career has completely blossomed. I know for sure that animation wasn't entirely for me. But the good thing is that I still get to work within animation sometimes as a freelancer instead of full-time, which is great, because in freelance animation, I'm still hired specifically for my style. So it's still kind of like I'm doing illustration work. And that's kind of how I ended up in children's books.
Wow. Well, it's terrifying, isn't it, when we're going down a path and it doesn't feel right and nothing's going our way. We know we need to change something, but we're so terrified of changing something because you've invested.
It also feels like you're giving up even.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you think, oh, God, but I've come so far. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of like, if I make a change now, what if it doesn't work? And then you start to sort of spiral. And then one day something just snaps, doesn't it? And you think, well, what have I got to lose? And then you go for it. And then when it starts working, it's great, isn't it?
It really is. And I had posted this story of mine on Twitter a couple of years ago, and it became a little bit viral, and I still have people coming to me all the time telling me hey, after reading it, I kind of went through something similar where I had a dream of animation, illustration, whatever, and then I kind of realized that my actual path was making puppets or greeting cards or something else, something entirely different. But I wouldn't have reached that point unless I had given up, quote unquote, that dream. But it's not really giving up. It's just kind of thinking about trying to think of what your priorities are and just changing paths just a little bit. That's all. Yeah,
definitely. 100%. I love that, at the start of this year, I kind of gave up what I was doing as my sort of main thing, which was, working as a PR consultant and running a little agency in Manchester, and then kind of making this Creative Boom full time. So that was, and what I never anticipated was letting go of something else kind of just made this, what I'm doing now, just work so much better. And it was just, incredible. All the kind of energy and time that rushes in, and then you just kind of thrive off it, and you just kind of think, okay, now I've got time to learn this, and now I've got time to do that, and now I've got time to finally get in touch with those people who I'd love to write about or whatever, and just all comes together. So, I'm really happy for you, because
I'm really happy for you.
Anybody who's listening, thank you. Anybody who's listening who's in a similar boat. I mean, if you've been feeling a bit stuck recently and you kind of don't know which way to turn, I guess you make an amazing point. Think about what it is that you love and want to do, and sort of try and think about the first few baby steps that you can take to get there. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like you suddenly just dramatically throw everything down on the floor and go, right, I'm done with animation. I'm going into the world of children's book illustration, and off you go. It's more right. What practical steps can I take today to sort of venture into this realm? And it takes a while, doesn't it? You have to kind of, it's a little bit every day, and then you finally get there. So what was your first big break into children's books?
My first big break, I had already started working on a few projects prior, but I think like another thing that like really affected my children's book career was finding a new agent. Because I had previously, I was with an illustration agency, but it wasn't really working out for them. They weren't really making great decisions for me and for my career. And so originally I had decided that I would just leave them entirely. Agents are not for me. I can probably do this by myself. And then right in the process, as I was leaving my first agency, I was working on a book called Bilal Cooks Daal. I was the illustrator, and the author had an agent. And that agent emailed me, and she was like, hey, I was just wondering, I love your work. I just wanted to see, do you have an agent? And I'm like, no, I don't. But she asked like if we could like meet up, if we could talk. And I ended up loving her. And I've been with her for about 3 or 4 years now. And she has done amazing things for my career. Like I would not be where I am without her. Just that is definitely one big difference. That has just an incredible difference to my career.
That's great to hear. And now you've kind of just this year, and I don't know whether it's out yet, you've finally got around to publishing your debut.
Yes. So
Wow.
I have finally written my author illustrator debut. It's supposed to come out next summer. And I think by the time this episode comes out, you might be able to pre-order it as well. It's called That's Not My Name. And I'm absolutely thrilled for everyone to see it.
We're taking a little break to get a word from our sponsor, Capture One, the powerful photo editing software that constantly innovates to give visual creators around the globe the ultimate creative tools. We spoke to Diego from Capture One, a photographer and videographer with over 15 years of experience and a background in photojournalism, music and art photography. I asked him what has helped you most over the years to improve your craft.
Well, mostly photo books, but also art, painting, movies, books. Something that actually goes around the technique, but because I feel it's not only the technique. You can learn the technique and try to practice and be better every day with the technique. But I think that what makes you better is just to share knowledge and understand what other people are doing. Photo books, I have two of my favorite books are The Suffering of Light by Alex Webb and Rasen Kaigan by Lieko Shiga. It's a Japanese book. I probably mispronounced it, but those two books really, really, really marked me. They are amazing books and expressive and fantastic pieces of art.
Nestled in Copenhagen, Denmark, Capture One creates world-class tools for editing, organising and working with photos. Want to test the software for yourself? Go to CaptureOne.com and use code CreativeBoom for 10% off or sign up for a 30-day free trial. Now back to my chat with Anoosha. What's the story about? Are we allowed to find out more?
Sure. So like the story is basically about this little girl who is starting school for the first time. Her name is Mirha, which is not a very complicated name, but like some people might find it difficult. And so she goes to school and she discovers that no one can say her name properly.
No.
Everyone gets it wrong. Even her teachers get it wrong. There's like one point in a classroom where like the teacher calls her by the wrong name, but she's too shy to correct her. And so she's just like, fine, I guess I'm just this name for the rest of the year. And so she's just getting like really upset and she's wondering if she should change her name. But by the end of the book, she realizes that she should be proud of her name. And of course, this is an experience that I've had growing up.
I was going to ask.
Yes, my name is Anoosha, and I've gotten that. I've had that exact experience of when I was in primary school of like a teacher reading the attendance sheet wrong and calling me Anushka. And I was a very shy kid. And I didn't say anything. So for half of a year, I was just Anushka until another kid was like, hey, that's not her name.
Oh, that's
and then
so
the teacher
cute.
got mad at me for not saying anything.
Oh, but it's
So,
scary, isn't it? You don't want to sort of
she
cause
was a scary
fuss.
teacher.
Oh dear. Oh, that's a shame. That sticks with you, doesn't it? It's quite formative.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've for quite a while in like my teenage and like my college years, I had tried to like shift away from my name because I thought it was a little bit too quote unquote ethnic. And so I would be like, hey, call me Anne, call me Annie or something. And so I was just like really trying to move away from my identity and really trying to whitewash myself. And so it wasn't until I got older that I was able to find pride in my culture and my name and everything. And I wrote this book in the hopes that it could help kids. I would have loved to have read something like this when I was a child. Because I think
great.
it's a pretty universal experience.
Oh, it's very universal. We had a Harry at university because he just got so fed up with trying to explain his real name. I still to this day don't know what his real name is. But yeah, it's very common, isn't it? People just sort of taking on a kind of, oh, it's frustrating. So, but I think it's getting better, isn't it? I think people are making more of an effort now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think so. I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so too. It's not really that difficult when you meet somebody to sort of make an effort and know how to pronounce.
It's just a sign of respect. That's really all it is.
Absolutely, and that's another encouraging thing. So yeah, to give that to a child and make them realise that they actually should speak up. That's a wonderful thing. Oh, so congratulations! That's coming out next summer, so you can pre-order it from hopefully November. So this month. So that's great. Yeah, it is really important to tell stories from different perspectives and cultures. And how many kind of children's books have you helped to design for other authors up until this point? I mean, it's been quite a few, hasn't it?
At least 20. I think it might be 25 now.
That's amazing. And beautifully, you, because of all the experiences you've had in this journey, you share your advice and wisdom on your YouTube channel.
Yes, that's right.
It's just wonderful, and there's so many amazing tips on there that people just don't really know because it's not something we get taught, is it, at university or school?
Definitely not. Yeah, that's pretty much why I created my YouTube channel. Was that my experience in my art school? Looking back, I did quite enjoy my art school experience. It was like a teeny tiny school in Switzerland. And my issue, I guess, was that like they taught us how to draw, but not so much how to prepare us for a world outside of school in terms of how do you market yourself? How do you find work? How do you just run a business? How do you even like finance, And so all of these things are really essential skills for being an artist, but they are just not taught in school. And like not even my school. Like I talk to people who have gone to top schools in the world and they barely know anything about that at all either.
No, and they don't quite prepare you, do they, for the real world?
And so I've had to learn all of this stuff through trial and unfortunately a lot of error. And so I created the YouTube channel as a way to just share what I've learned so other people don't have to go through it like I did.
Oh, that's really sweet. I've kind of do that with our tips articles on our platform. It's just nice to be able to pass that on. And it's so generous of you to give your time, especially the kind of things about getting an agent and, how to sort of turn your art into a business.
Right. I think sorry.
No, go on.
Oh, yeah. The other thing, it's not only that it's not taught in schools, there aren't just a lot of resources online either. And I think one of the issues is that art is a quite an isolating career. It's not like that at least in my experience, we're not really working in teams. We don't really have coworkers. So there's not really a way to properly exchange information. And so again, starting off my career, I had so many questions, but I didn't really know who I could possibly ask to get those questions answered. So I'm hoping that in the coming years we can have like more and more artist communities so that we're able to have like some kind of a network to be able to help each other. But I couldn't find anything when I was starting out. But again, this is another reason why I started my channel.
Well, you've discovered Creative Boom now, so hopefully
Yeah.
that can help. And there are kind of more and more resources available online. There's another one called Creative Lives.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
That's by the It's Nice That team.
Is that also UK based?
Yeah. And, but you're right. I mean, there are all these like various different places that you can dip into, but, have you heard of, this kind of growing thing where you sort of, instead of getting a mentor, you get a co-mentor?
Oh.
And, yeah, it's very cool. So like, it's a thing that's happening amongst some of my designer and illustrator friends. Basically, you find somebody who's at a very similar stage and level of experience to yourself, and you just buddy up and you do, whether it's monthly, weekly, or even daily, or whether you do it face to face or video conference call, whatever, and you just kind of talk about something. And you say,
that's really cool.
Isn't it a really great idea? It's just so simple. Just find someone and say, right, I'm having a problem this week. I'm having to put together a proposal for a new client and they want to know how much it's going to cost. Have you got any idea what I should do? And then the other person might come back and say, oh, well, this is what I would do. And then whilst you're there, could you help me with this?
That's amazing. That's a really great idea.
It's powerful, isn't it? So speaking of financing, I mean, it's such a nightmare for illustrators, isn't it? Because you often get the clients come to you and say, how much is it going to cost?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas they never go, here's a budget.
It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating. How do you do it? How do you get your head around that?
Well, thankfully for my children's books work, my agent usually handles those, though, like generally the way that we figure out whether a project works or not is that, well, in my experience, usually the children's book publishers will come up to you with a budget already, and then it's up to us to decide whether that works, and we'll usually try to negotiate. For general illustration, that's only me. So for that, it is still tricky. What usually helps me is one of two things. To one, look back at my previous work and see, can I compare this with anything? So if I have like maybe a poster assignment come in, and it's for, maybe it's like a smaller client who was asking, and they have like a so-and-so, they're asking me like how much I want to quote. So I can look back at my previous work, see, okay, so I have done this poster assignment before for a larger client. Likely this new company might not have the same budget. What I can probably do, I can quote that same amount and let them know that, hey, this is what I'd like to quote, but I'm open to negotiation. I'm willing to work with your budget, just to let them know that if they are not able to reach it, I can at least reach down to meet their budget. And secondly, research. So I mentioned this in one of my pricing videos on my YouTube channel. There are quite a few pricing resources out there. One is the Graphic Artists Guild Handbook. There's a huge textbook. It has like a big pricing section. There is a website called lightbox.info. That is a community submission-based pricing resource. So like artists can submit projects that they've done in the past. So for example, if you get a call from let's say the New Yorker for an editorial illustration, you can go onto their website, see what other people have been paid for before, and it might say, oh, this person has been paid by the New Yorker. Then you can compare and just pull that number off.
Right.
And then lastly, I just ask my friends as well. So I'm thankful to have like a community of artists. So recently I got contacted for quite a big client, and they were asking me for a quote, and I had absolutely no idea what to quote, but I had like a number in mind. But I had seen that one of my friends had previously worked with them on a very similar project. So I contacted her. I asked her like, hey, I got contacted by the same people, pretty much the same project. Could I please ask like how much they paid you? And the number she gave me was like 10 times higher than what I had thought up in my head. So I'm so glad I asked her. I know. So then I was able to like quote that number.
I was always advised, figure it out and then times it by 3. And then if they at least meet you in the middle, then it's kind of like, at least you're getting a bit more than you anticipated.
Yeah.
But so many people still underprice themselves.
It's
and I
a
wonder
really
where that
big
comes
problem.
from. Is it a lack of awareness of what their value is, or is it a lack of confidence? Is it a combination? You know, I know so many people who are sort of like 10 years in and are still frightened to put up prices with existing clients. You know, it's really, money's
I think it's definitely a combination of like pricing is another thing that's just not commonly talked about within our industry. People don't really talk about like money and like how much they've earned, which is totally fair. But like privately, at least, I feel like we should what's the word? Wage transparency is super important because that information is not available online. There's not a lot of resources, and so if people, especially new artists in the industry, if they don't know what the going rates are, then they're obviously going to undercharge themselves. And so I think wage transparency is extremely important. And there is a big responsibility for more experienced artists to share that information. And then secondly, I think it's also, I guess it's a lack of confidence, but more so of not wanting to scare a client off. And so you try to just price yourself low enough so that you get that client. And I think that's like a very tempting thing to do at the very beginning of your career because you're trying to get as much work as you can. But then obviously the problem comes where you don't want to get taken advantage of and you do want to be paid fairly for your work.
It's true. And there's also the tightrope of if I pitch it too low, then they might think I'm cheap. And therefore the quality of the work won't be reflective. And if I pitch it too high, then, you know, I might sort of send them off to my competitor who's quoted something else because you don't know whether they've come to you direct or they've approached 3 other illustrators.
That's
and
true.
then it's like this load of stress that you have to go through even before they've said yes and sent you
so stressful.
It's awful. You know, I think most of the time that we spend as freelancers involves either thinking about what to charge them, charging them, or chasing payments.
Yeah. And answering a bunch of emails.
You know, I'm having an email day today. And then, you know, it takes forever. I mean.
Yeah. What I usually, people are shocked to hear that like my freelance job as like a freelance illustrator, drawing only takes up 30% of the job. The rest is just admin work.
It really is. And, you know, I don't think people appreciate it. You know, do you get kind of a lot of fans and people get in touch with you on Instagram in the direct messages and you are you like me? You just have to answer everybody, even though like you haven't got time or have you got better at kind of just ignoring them?
So I would try my best to answer every single one, all of my YouTube comments, all of the DMs I would get. And then these would end up being like, and I can't just give like a simple two sentence answer. If someone asks me, you know, like what's the best way to, you know, send out my portfolio or something, I will give like a 3-paragraph essay because I don't want to leave anything out. But that's why I started, that's the other reason why I started making my YouTube videos. So I could just be like, just watch this. Like that's all the information.
Fab. And even just doing that probably takes up an hour of your time every day, just answering people's queries and helping and giving back. You know, it's a lot, isn't it? I have a friend who's a graphic designer who is very successful here in Manchester, and she's come up with an FAQ page on her website so that
no one reads the FAQ.
They don't. But what happens is when the graduates and the students get in touch and they're like, "Oh, I really love your work, and can you give me some tips? And how do I get a job? And how do I do this? And how do I do that?" She goes, "I've prepared an FAQ page of typical questions I get asked by students. Here it is. Good luck." And that's what she does. And she's even sort of automated it now so that anybody who emails her, she can just send a kind of, you know, prepared
smart
email. It's just so simple, but it's so smart.
I have that same thing because I, as a children's book illustrator, I do get a lot of queries from smaller authors, unpublished authors who are asking, "Hey, I have this idea for a children's book. Would you be able to illustrate it? Or like, what do you charge per page?" And these, to put it kindly, these people are not really aware of how the industry works. They're not really, like, if I were to take this on, or even like a younger artist were to take it on, I know that this would be a project where 90% of the workload would go onto the artist, as well as just the education itself. So what I have just, because I get so many of these queries every week, I have a copy paste email that I send back, and it's usually, hey, I don't usually take on unpublished projects. I take on work directly through my agent. But I also wanted to tell you, if in case you are not aware, that unless you're doing self-publishing, a publisher is going to hire their own illustrator. I don't think you know that, because a lot of the time they don't. And yeah, like, because otherwise, like, I don't want them to also end up bothering a new illustrator, and then them getting caught up into something that would potentially be a waste of time.
That's really caring, though, because a lot of people wouldn't even bother to respond and wouldn't even sort of go into that length of detail. So, you know, it's really generous of you to do that, given you're so busy. You've done 25 books of just publishing your first debut novel. You know, you're working for all these amazing clients, and they're big name clients, aren't they? I mean, you're not mucking about, really. So, you know, that's great that you still do that. Do you how do you keep your feet firmly planted on the ground? You know, how do you stop yourself from getting really big headed? I have a really sort of down to earth husband who just reminds me, you know, that I still haven't got it all figured out.
Oh gosh, I have horrible anxiety and insecurity. So like, that's not going to be a problem for me.
Same. Gosh, I mean, that's the human condition, isn't it? It's,
I guess all I have to do is, because I will get like a little big headed sometimes. I'm like, I'm a big time artist. I got to figure it out. All I have to do is scroll through Instagram and look at other people. And then I'm reminded like, oh, no, never mind. I don't know how to draw. I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't be silly. Oh, I think everyone has that. Absolutely everyone. Even the people that, you know, you think are way better than you know, will be looking at your work and going, oh my God, she's so good. I've got to roll my socks up. And
I saw this great advice. I still haven't done this yet, but I should start. But what it was that someone said that every time you get some kind of compliment, either like a nice message on one of your art posts or an email or just any kind of like written compliment, you compile that up into like some kind of a Word document. And anytime you're feeling down, you just go to that document and just read through all of those nice things.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. That's really nice, because some people can just send the most gorgeous messages, can't they?
Yeah, it's just so sweet.
It's and you will probably get, you know, hundreds of those in your kind of career. But it's now and again, it's the ones that they sent just from nowhere. It might be a little tweet, or it might be some sort of like weird kind of comment, and that will stick with you, annoyingly. Not the kind of all the good stuff. It'll be the kind of criticism that sticks with you. And you're like,
absolutely.
I could hear so like, mean?
Yeah, I could hear like a week of just like nonstop, like lovely comments, just one bad comment. And that will be the one that like is stuck in my head when I'm trying to fall asleep at night.
Oh, I know, but they have to live with themselves.
Yes.
And we can go to bed at night knowing that we are wonderful, kind people who give up an hour of a day every day to help people who are trying to, you know, make it in the industry, because it can be a tough industry, can't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So what lessons are you going to take with you into 2022? My goodness, 2022.
Oof, 2022. I cannot believe we're almost at the end of the year.
I know. Oof. It's happened so fast the last couple of years. I mean, there's been something going around apparently that's been making a few people ill, but you know. Sorry, that was British humour. That was terrible British humour.
That was great. Yeah, I mean, like 2020, like I don't even acknowledge it. Like if you ask me what happened that year, I got married and I forget. Like I cannot tell you a single thing that happened in 2020 just because it's been erased from my memory.
Oh my goodness. Really, you're the second person this week to say I've just decided to. In fact, they said we're just going to ignore the last 2 years and we're going to just pretend that we're 2 years younger.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, like if someone asked me something that happened last year, I would think of 2019. I'm not going to think of 2020. For some reason, my mind just automatically skips 2020.
Well, we've got certainly lots to look forward to. Touch wood. And, you know, you've got your book coming out. You're going to sort of be probably traveling again.
Oh, gosh, I hope so. One thing that I really miss is doing conventions, because I would travel and do conventions. I was really excited to come to, is it ELCAF in London? ELCAF?
Oh,
it's like a small comic, like an indie comic convention. I think it's ELCAF.
I should know that, shouldn't I? Really? No,
East London Comic Arts Festival. I think that's what it's called. I'm not entirely sure, but I really wanted to attend that because I would love to visit London.
Well, have you not been to London yet?
I went years ago. Actually, before I decided on Switzerland for my art school, I was looking into the University of the Arts London. They had like a summer program for high school students, and so I attended that, and that was really fun.
Oh my goodness! So you've enjoyed so much, and you barely getting started, really. So, well, thank you for your time and sharing your journey so far. I mean, you're obviously sort of on this kind of amazing path, and really looking forward to seeing your 20th book from now.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much, Katie, for having me on. This was absolutely delightful.
Thank you. To find out more about Anoosha Syed, go to our show notes at creativeboom.com/podcast. That's where you can also subscribe and enjoy weekly episodes from us every Monday morning. Thanks again to our sponsor, Capture One, one of the most powerful photo editing softwares out there. Use Creative Boom for a 10% discount or sign up for a free 30-day trial at captureone.com. Next time, I'll be meeting Tim Easley, an award-winning self-made illustrator, designer and photographer from London.